Welcome! Today we're going to do an interview regarding my son, ESFP. This is Robert, and thanks for watching. Hi, and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to ask an ESFP a question about personality. In personality, there's been this designation given to the ESFPs of the entertainer. And I was just curious, Rob, what do you think about that designation? Is it limiting? Is it descriptive? What do you think about that? Do you mind the title entertainer?
I don't mind the title entertainer. I mean, we don't use the titles, we just go by the letters.
Who's we?
Like our family will do that.
And why is that?
Because people would think their personality is like that, and will think of themselves as an entertainer or I forget the other ones that they use because we don't really use them.
Right.
That type of, they'll limit themselves to being an entertainer when they could also be good in other fields as well, and not just entertaining people.
So what would be one of the reasons they might get that title? I agree with you. If we use that term, it's very limiting for the person to think, oh, I'm just an entertainer. But what is it about entertainers that kind of gives the ESFP that title, or why do they end up with a title like that?
Well, I think a lot of them like being the center of attention or entertaining people in a sense with either acting or also music. A bunch of them can be musical or want to learn musical instruments, things like that, or hosting different events, things like that.
Do you know your top function?
Yes, so I have SE in my top function.
Okay, how many functions are there? And then what are your top 4?
Well, there's 8 different functions, and my top 4 are SE, FI, T, and I.
T, E, and I. Excellent job. I was like, I wonder if I catch him on this one, but you got it. Nice. Yeah, so the SE function allows you to be objective in what you're seeing. You kind of see things the way many other people see in the concrete world, or objectively.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes you equipped for a lot of different things, one of which is entertaining. I could definitely see ESFPs being useful just in really physical environments. What's the problem though? I've talked to you about this before, but what's the problem or difficulty is if you were in an organized, like a police officer or a firefighter or in the military. The military, I've always told you the military can use them, but what's going to be the challenge if you were to go into one of those fields?
Well, for one thing, you have to put yourself under their authority, and they would make the choices for you, telling you to do something. And you might not necessarily agree with that form of action or parts like that. And ESFPs can have a hard time being told the way they're supposed to do it.
And can you tell me what function is causing that to happen?
Well, I think most of it has to do with, for one, their FI.
And so what's FI?
It's like my values, how I believe I should do something, or what I believe is right.
Mm-hmm. So that might conflict with your general or somebody over you telling you to do something different.
Right.
You're more wanting, the ESFP generally looks to their own values, and then, if I understand it correctly, the TE, the third function down, wants to work with everybody. Like how are we going to make this work?
Mm-hmm.
But the FI function isn't trying to say how are we going to make this. How am I going to make this work? And that I function being high, that internal judgment function being high, can give you difficulty in an organized environment where you really have to follow the rules carefully. So You got this green shirt on. What is that all about?
The green shirt designates my column that I'm in on the personality chart.
Yeah.
And
What's that whole column then? What are they kind of like known for?
so I think they're known for they're more concrete and kind of push the boundaries and they want to more do things than just think about doing them.
Mm-hmm. So thinking about coming here and talking about this is not as exciting to you as actually getting it done and being able to check it off.
Right.
Getting it over with.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for coming out and talking to us about being an ESFP.
You're welcome.
Maybe we'll have to do it again sometime.
Yes.
Sound good? All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.